Hello, it's CraftyRia. Welcome to this video. If you're new here, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you like what you see, and if you're returning, as always, welcome back. Today I'm going to be recycling some Christmas cards, and I will be making little covered notepads with them. I found these little notepads at the Dollar Tree. They come 5 in a pack. They are 3.5 by 5, and this is what the little tag looks like at Walmart. They're wrapped in plastic. I already took the plastic off, and they come in several colors. So of course I got purple, I also got green, and I got blue. If you don't know me, purple's my favorite color, so I of course had to get purple. So I went ahead and took one of each color off of the stacks. They are all stuck together, so to take them apart you just fold it over by where the cardboard backing is, and you just peel it apart like that. So that's how you take them apart. So we'll make one of each color. I started by going through my card stash, and I wanted to find cards that would fit these and be 5 inches long, and they fold at the top, so I could easily cover them and have it open like that. But that was harder than you would think, of course, because they had to have an image that would work for 3.5 inches wide and still look pretty good. So I couldn't find that for all of them, but I did find this one, which I thought would be really cute, because it is about 5 inches long, and it is almost the perfect width. It's a little bit wider, but we're going to have to do a little work on that one since it opens from the side. This one here I thought was really pretty, but I would use that with the blue one and have it open from the side view, since this Christmas tree is over to the left. I couldn't do it with this one because if I bring this all the way to the left, the words would not be centered. So let me show you a couple ways that I had thought to do this. Now I'm trying this all on my own for the first time, so bear with me, we'll make our mistakes together. So for this one here, I want to probably keep this part here that says Happy Holidays intact for another card. There's no reason to use this whole page, to waste any of it for this card. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it just to the left of the H. I'll put it in here and line it up and just kind of cut it to the left of the H. And it will cut that green ball in half, but that's okay. And then this will be left over for another card or another project. I want to definitely leave the back intact, and it does not matter that there's words here because they're going to get covered up. So I want to get my paper pad. I think I'll use purple for this one since they're bright colors, or pastel crazy colors, I guess. So I thought I would just use this left piece, leave that intact, and I will cut this left side off. I will use the right side, leave that intact, cut the left side off at 3.5 inches because this measures, let me double check, 3.5 inches. I don't really want to make the cover really any wider than the notebook. So I'm going to put this in my trimmer, measure it at 3.5 inches. First I want to see if it's straight. I don't think it's perfectly straight here. I think it slid when I did the original cut. So let me hold it down real good and take off a sliver. There we go. Now I will do this at 3.5 inches. There. So that's what the front of the pad is going to look like. I want to hold it up. Yes, it does line up pretty good. So now we have to account for the spine, and then we're going to have to cut the bottom off. But first I want to account for the spine. So I want to measure this up. The spine is 1/8 of an inch wide. So I do want to score it at 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to leave this score line intact, and I'm going to come down and score it at 1/8 of an inch from that score line. So I will use my scoring board here, and that score line on this card is 5.5. I want to double check this and see. It is a little more than 1/8 of an inch. So I'm wondering, I'm going to go ahead and move it. I am moving this paper slightly this way, about 1/16 of an inch over, and then I'm going to go ahead and score at that 1/8 of an inch mark. That way it gives me just a little bigger than 1/8 of an inch little gusset there. I want to make sure that it is going to be, yes, that makes it the perfect size to hold the spine of the book. Then I want to take it and I'm going to cut 2 pieces to be the length of the book. This is, it's not exactly 5 inches. It is 4 7/8 of an inch. So I'm going to line up the first, there's 2 score lines. I'm going to line up the right score line at 5 7/8 of an inch on my paper cutter. No, 4 7/8, sorry. 4 7/8 of an inch, and I'm going to cut this bottom piece off. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to line up this right one again at 4 7/8 of an inch and cut that piece off. And then when you put your paper pad in, it should line up perfectly, but it doesn't because I'm an idiot apparently. That's okay. I'll keep this one for myself. I'll use it on my desk. I'm trying to think why it did not work that well. I think for my next one I'll mark it with a pencil. So anyway, we'll call this our prototype. So to adhere this to the back of the card cover, I'm going to use my ATG and put a good amount of glue as close to the edge of the card as I can. And then I'm going to put a whole bunch across the back. I'm going to put an extra row right across the top and an extra row on the bottom. I want this to stick on there really well. I'm going to go ahead and lay it on its side just so I can line it up better and line up the very top of back of the notebook with that first score mark. And then I'm going to fold it over, get off any excess adhesive. There. And if I was more careful with my measurements, it would fit. But there you go, you get the idea. So let's go ahead and do this one that's going to open sideways. So of course I don't want the word, this part that says Happy Holidays on it, because I want most of the tree instead. So what my first cut is going to be just to cut that Happy Holidays part off. I want to leave the card intact as far as the spine of the card. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and mark with a pencil where I want, actually I don't want to mark, yeah I do, because the spine is on the side. Don't listen to me. So I'm going to go ahead and mark on the front of here with my pencil the length of the book, and that's how much I want to cut off, just a little bit off of the bottom of the card. Erase any pencil mark. So there I have that piece left. And then I want to go ahead and score my little gusset in the side. And I'm going to do it the same as I did on the other. I'm going to score it at just a little more than 1/8 of an inch. So this gusset here lines up just kind of in the middle of two score marks. So I'm going to go over to make it a little more than 1/8 of an inch, kind of just eyeball it to the next score mark. So you have the fold of the card and then your score mark there, which is going to be slightly more than 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to go ahead and fold it along that score mark. And then pull it forward. And what I will do on this one is I will put this inside and line it up, and then I'm going to mark it on both ends exactly where the side of it lines up. I have that piece there and that piece there. This way I don't make any more mistakes. I'm going to cut this poor little bird in half. And then I'm going to turn it over and cut against my other mark. I think that's going to be the easiest, rather than trying to do the guesswork like I did before. So then you have just a side folded card with a wide spine that's going to hold the width of the book. And then this one will open from the side and you'll have your little book. Again, I'm just going to use my tape gun. I'm going to put a good amount right along that spine, not in the actual crease, but just to the other side of it. I'm going to do doubles on all of the sides, just so it has really good amount of tape there, and a couple pieces down the middle because you really want it to hold onto it. Then with this one, I'm going to fold it so the back crease is folded. I'm going to go ahead and set it down like this and then line up the left side of that, of the notepad with the crease, and then fold it over. There's a little bit of adhesive along the sides. I'm just going to go with that. Peels right off. It rolls right off. If you don't have a really good tape runner, you can also use wet adhesive. And another thing you can do is burnish the back down. If you don't like the back unfinished like that, you can cover it with another piece of plain cardstock. So then you have that. So it's a nice little gift for somebody. All right, now we're going to do one that's a little different. This one opens to the side, but I want it to open this way over this. I really like it. I think it's adorable. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to cut the cover off of this. I'm going to cut it as close to the fold as I can right there. I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to use this for the back. And then I want to decide how I want to cut this. I'm going to go ahead and kind of center this. Let me see if the word is centered first. I'm going to take a little trim off of this right side to make up for how much we took off of the other side, so the words are centered. Turn this on the back, and I'm just going to put this down and make a mark with my pencil on both sides, just so I know how much to take off. And then I'm going to trim this. These little slivers, and let's see if that fits. Yes, that's really good width-wise. So I want the words to be at the top, obviously, as close to the top as I can. I want to center it this way. So I want to cut the bottom piece off where I don't want any of the words to fold over. All right, I think that is going to be a good placement. So you just decide where you want this placed on there. Hang on to it like that, flip it over, and just eyeball the bottom part, make a mark, and then cut that piece off. So there, it's going to be like that. I'm going to go ahead and make a mark here at the top. It's where I want my first score line. And we'll take the scoring board out again. Oops. I'm going to mark it there, and then I'm going to give it a nice, I'm going to move that score line on this to the center of the ridge and then go 1/8 of an inch over. So it's slightly more than 1/8 of an inch score. I'm going to fold both of those score lines. Make sure it fits. Very good. It fits good. And then that cute piece overhangs the back. And I'm going to cut this out since this has white with that matching. I'm going to cut a piece of that to cover the back. So I'm just going to measure it on here, just mark both edges and give this a cut. And the first thing I'm going to do is adhere this to the back. Now, if you had a blank Christmas card that didn't have anybody's signature, you could use this side and put it like this and sign the back and kind of give this to them as their Christmas card. But this has somebody's signature on it, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down onto the back this way. So if you had a new box of cards that you picked up maybe from the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General and didn't have anybody's signatures on it, would be a great way. You can make a whole bunch of these and use them as cards for your coworkers. I'm going to go ahead and line it up with the top, and that way that just covers that cardboard backing. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to adhere this down really well to the back of that. I left that over because I think it's a really pretty decorative edge, so the back of it can be pretty as well. Put a whole bunch of glue on this one here. I'm going to go ahead and line it up like this. Make sure it's lined up on left and right, and on the bottom, fold that over and fold that over. Burnish the back down really well. Burnish down your folds again with your bone folder. And there you have a really nice notepad. So we have 3 notepads. Of course, this is my imperfect one. If you want it to sit down better, you can burnish it with your bone folder. Now for the bottom of this, I could put a decorative piece of paper or some ribbon or something like that across the bottom to kind of add a little length to it. This one here I think is really nice the way it is. I'm not really going to do a lot to that. Although I do have this green holographic tape, which I think I'm going to put a piece across this border edge just to help hold it down, give it a little more of a decorative accent. Actually, I'm going to fold it over onto the inside here. There. Has a little bit of a decorative accent on the back. I could do something like that on here if I wanted to. I'm not sure. I might want to just put ribbon on that one. On this tree, I could get my bling box out. and put some of this red bling along the garland on this tree. Okay, this is the bling that I get from AliExpress. It comes on these sheets. When I purchased them, they were, I think, 68 cents a sheet, but I think the price has changed. I will put a link in the description below so you can go check them out. They are wonderful. They are a whole lot of fun to use, and then that makes a really nice gift for somebody. This here you could cut down like that and use it as a little gift tag for it and have it open and, you know, right in there, to and from, if you wanted to give this to someone as a gift. I missed a spot up at the top. There. I don't want to leave out any bling. I want to be sure to get all of the bling on there. So let's go ahead and cut this down. So this could be a cute little gift tag. You could punch a hole in the top of it and add it to your ribbon on there and just write a note inside. This here we could save for another project. Okay, so we have this one that has a little bit of this showing. I'm going to go ahead and try to remedy this by adding this piece with a decorative red border. I'm going to open it like this. I went ahead and took the piece that I cut off the bottom and put a piece of this red decorative tape on it. And I'm going to go ahead and try to line it up as best I can. Oops. Let's see if I can get that off. There we go. I'm going to line this up just like that and then put the red tape over it where the seams meet. I'm going to fold the tape over in the back. And I'm going to put another piece over this. I'm going to trim it to just on the inside. And I'm going to make a mark to where I need to cut that. I made a little indentation. You probably can't see it, but I can see it. So I'm going to give that a little trim right where I made the cut. There. And now we have a decorative border on the bottom, and it does go all the way to the bottom. So now we do have a little bit of a repair to this book. Okay, I think I'll probably end up keeping that one for myself since it still is not perfect, but it is kind of pretty. And then we have these other two that I could give as gifts. All right, there you go. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait to see what you're doing with your Christmas cards. Go ahead and join my Facebook group if you'd like to and show me what you're doing with your Christmas cards. The link is below. I started a brand new group for all of us to share our ideas and our projects. So please go check it out. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. And I'll catch you all next time. Meanwhile, go get crafting. Bye-bye.